It's hard to say that Nicholas Nice is acting very nice in this case, especially when you consider the treatment that he's giving to two particular superstars in accordance with the Summer Rumble match. Now, see, most Rumbles start with two people, and then every 2 minutes a new person enters. Those rules do apply here, except for those first two people. They will be in the ring for 15 minutes before the next entrant enters, and we continues numbers 3 through 20 entering every 2 minutes. And ironically enough, in a random selection, the general manager, Nicholas Nice, picked Nunzio to be his #1 pick. In case you're a little confused, I mean, I'm sure those clips showed, he doesn't have a great history with Nunzio, sending out Hardcore Holly after him last time and picking up the victory there. Nunzio might have the odds stacked against him. And speaking of odds, the Lower East Side native, Judas Young, has drawn #2. It's kind of a bit of a surprise, yes, we all know. But the odds have been stacked against him as of late. But I don't think I can really explain it as much as our special guest here at ISPW's Threshold, the ISPW owner himself, Tommy Fierro. First of all, Mr. Fierro, thank you for joining us here on ISPW's Threshold.
Frankie, man, it's a pleasure to be on here. I'm a big fan of yours.
Well, now, first things first, let me start off by making mention of the Summer Rumble match. There's a lot of controversy that's taking place amongst the ISPW fans. I mean, you promote the fact that we should experience the difference of ISPW. And I think all our fans have experienced every difference in the ISPW title scene. Could you kind of walk us through what has happened in the past several months and shows leading up to this moment as to why we have the Summer Rumble?
Well, the controversy is the key phrase there. You hit the nail right on the head. The ISPW title has been the center of controversy ever since ISPW The Return back in April. The main event of our return show was Danny Inferno against Judas Young in a tables, ladders, and chairs match where the winner would be crowned new ISPW World Heavyweight Champion. The special guest referee for that match was former 5-time ISPW champion Ace Darling. These two guys had an epic tables, ladders, and chairs match. They absolutely put their lives and bodies on the line in this one. Probably one of the best matches I've ever seen live before, and I'm not just saying that because it's ISPW. It really was that good. And for those of you who didn't get an opportunity to witness this match, it is available on DVD, ISPW The Return, and you can go to ISPWLive.com for more information on that. Anyhow, these two guys went out there for at least 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, and they put on a classic brawl, which saw the outcome have a winner of the match that wasn't even in the match. The first time ever in professional wrestling something like that has happened. At the end of the match, both Danny and Judas were knocked down, along with referee Ace Darling. This caused Dangerous Danny Davis to run out, who you remember was a referee in the WWF back in the 80s, part of the Hart Foundation. He came out as the new official for this match, and Judas Young climbed the ladder to capture the ISPW title, and Danny Davis threw him off the ladder, and then Danny got up. Danny began to climb the ladder, which appeared as though Danny Davis was actually helping Danny climb the ladder to win the title. He was nudging him up the ladder, but while he was doing this, he signaled to the locker room and outran Josh Daniels, and Josh Daniels got in the ring, powerbombed Danny off the ladder, and both Danny Davis and Josh Daniels simultaneously climbed the ladder at the same time. Josh grabbed the title and was announced a new ISPW champion. The stipulation for the match was the first person that climbed the ladder and captured the title would be the champion. It never stated that the first person in the match to climb the ladder would become the champion. So they pretty much outsmarted the entire ISPW. So with that being said, the last show on May 30th was a triple threat match for the title, which saw Josh defend against both Judas Young and Danny Inferno. And interesting enough, a few weeks before this big match, Danny announced on my radio show, Who's Slamming Who, that the May 30th show would be his final match, that he would be retiring from the ring, which began a lot of speculation what would happen if Danny captured the title. And sure enough, that's what happened. Danny won the title in his final match ever. And me being so close to Danny, we grew up as best friends, and just having so much respect for him as a performer, I wanted that night to be special for him, so I let him retire the ISPW World Heavyweight Champion, as the title was pretty much up in the lingo anyway, Frankie, from the get-go with Josh, and I figured that we would just start over fresh on July 11th when ISPW returns to the ISPW Arena in Freehold, New Jersey, and it's going to be a 20-participant Summer Rumble. Same rules as a WWE Royal Rumble. Every 2 minutes, a new competitor enters the ring, and they're eliminated once they're thrown over the top rope and their feet hit the arena floor. Outside of Judas Young and Nunzio, who was picked as contestants 1 and 2 randomly, which you already talked about prior to me coming on here. And like I said, the last man standing in the center of the ring will be the new ISPW World Heavyweight Champion and the new face of ISPW.
Now, Mr. Fierro, let me ask you this. The match itself was your creation. You came up with it right after the retirement of Danny Inferno, right in the ring. However, General Manager Nicholas Nice took it into his own accord to make this match a little more lengthy and add more elements to it that we probably didn't expect, particularly the 15-minute start time of Judas Young and Nunzio. How do you feel about Nicholas Nice and his intrusion on this match?
Well, first off, I do not, what's the right word to use here? I definitely don't agree with everything that Nicholas Nice does. However, he does have a stock in the ISPW company, so therefore I'm pretty much left in a situation where he does have some authority in the promotion. The final decision and say is mine, but there are certain things that I can't overrule that he does because he is the general manager. And let's face it, there's no love lost between him and Nunzio. Ever since ISPW return, he's been trying to run Nunzio out of ISPW, and Nicholas Nice said he randomly picked 2 contestants out of the hat or bucket, wherever he picked it out of. I doubt if he even picked it to begin with. But it's funny that Nunzio was picked out as contestant number 1 because I knew all along that this was going to happen. I knew this was a ploy to try and stack the fences against Nunzio here in 15 minutes. I mean, that's a long time for someone to compete in a match before 18 other guys have the opportunity to enter it. So, I mean, the odds are definitely stacked up against Nunzio here. And poor Judas picked as contestant number 2. I don't know if he was randomly picked or if this is another ploy for Nicholas Nice to get at Judas Young, but I don't think so because I don't believe that those two ever had a problem. But it's interesting that Judas is picked as the second guy here because now you have a situation where you have 2 of the top fan favorites in ISPW competing in a match for 15 minutes. And I'll tell you what, while I don't agree with Nick Nice and his actions on this, I'm really looking forward to seeing Nunzio and Judas Young compete for 15 minutes, so that should be off the charts.
Well, I guess you have a valid point there, Mr. Fierro. I mean, he is the general manager, of course. He kind of probably could take me off this job. I mean, barring anything that you say for it.
Frankie, if you had to pick a winner for Summer Rumble,
you want to know,
I have to put you on the spot right now without really giving it any thought.
You want to know who I think is going to win the Summer Rumble?
Money on someone.
See, that's tough. As the ISPW, the voice of ISPW, you know, I kind of have to keep that bias going, you know, that unbiased nature, I mean, I should say. But it's hard to say. I mean, originally, if you would have asked me, my original pick would have been Judas Young. You know, he had all the odds stacked against him. He had every single adversity to overcome, from the fireball incident back in December to losing the TLC match in agonizing fashion to being so close and being cost to victory in that triple threat match by Sonny. I don't know. You know, you figured he'd have the guts to it, but 15 minutes in the ring, it's really hard to say if he can pull it out.
Yeah, he definitely does. And like I said, though, the only downfall on Judas is that he has to be in that match for 15 minutes with Nunzio before 18 other participants enter the ring. So that's going to be a huge disadvantage for him. But he's definitely one of the guys I'm pulling for. There's a couple people in there that I think can pull it out. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be really, really interesting. And I invite everyone out there to come July 11th, Freehold, New Jersey, at the ISPW Arena and experience the difference that's ISPW.
Well, I mean, who knows? There's a bunch of other participants in the match that we'll get into, especially this mystery entrant that Nick Nice threw in there.
What's up with this mystery entrant? You know anything about this?
Mine as to who the mystery entrant is.
On it.
I mean, I'm just the voice. You know, I'm just the voice. If I were the brains behind the operation, that'd be a different story. I could probably give you more insight, but I guess we're both going to find out as much as the fans who experience the difference of ISPW will at ISPW's Summer Rumble on July 11th. Well, regardless, thank you very much, Mr. Fierro, for joining us here at Summer Rumble, the countdown to Summer Rumble here on ISPW Threshold. We'll see you live in attendance right then and there in Freehold.
Thank you very much, man.